Alright, this video is going to go into a simple method of being able to animate multiple characters, with each character being controlled by a different person, or rather animated by a different person within a different file. This will be used primarily when we have multiple characters that are touching, punching, or otherwise affecting each other in a direct or a little bit indirect manner. Indirect later on, but that'll be on a case-by-case basis. Anyway, so the basic concept is that we first animate both characters, both character 1 and character 2, within the blockout file. And this blockout file contains the basic poses and basic timing of that sort of stuff, or of each of the characters. Within production, layout team will be handling this, and they'll be handling it in a way that doesn't interfere with the rest of animation's operations. So anyway, from here, what'll happen is that this blockout will then be split up into two different files, character 1 and character 2, and both of these files, or rather the collections of each of the characters within each of these files, will be linked to each other so that they're viewable from each other. From there, we'll be linking each of the finished characters' animations that individuals can work on, because these are separate files. Everybody can work on them. Everybody can work on different files at the same time. Then each one of those finished characters will be brought into the finished scene. The finished scene will not just be the characters within 3D space interacting with each other, but it'll also have the finished environment and finished lighting. So the finished environments here, and that environments will come from layout as well. Or, well, it'll come from layouts and then lighting. And then from there, we'll also have a blockout that's also used for each one of our characters within production. However, this video is just going to be focusing on how we do it as individuals. So, as individuals, we just have this simple process, and we don't even need to have this finished scene. We just need to make a blockout, split into two different files, and have those files viewable from each other. So, switch over to the characters. So right now I have two different characters linked into the same file. You can see them here, and they both have proxies. The important thing to note here is that each one of these characters are within their own collection. These collection names should be the same name as the character's rig, or the character's file name, or something like that. Something that makes it identifiable. Anyway, you can see here that I have the basic timing, basic blockout timing of these characters moving. Once again, in production layout we'll be doing this, but this is still important for us to practice as animation. So the important points here are whenever we have two characters in contact with each other. Those are the points that we want to make sure are planned and timed out correctly within this initial blockout. Or this animation blockout. So right here, where the female's character's hands are touching the main character to push and shove him, this is the timing that we need to have perfect, and we need to have set from the very beginning, because this blockout is focusing on large-scale stuff. What is the timing of different actions happening between these two characters? This is done by a single person. However, it should not take too long, and yeah. From here, you're just going to go up to File, Save As, and you're going to save it as whatever the file name should be for the first character, and then whatever it should be for the second character. So for this, just as an example, let me bring up the naming convention, just so I can make sure it's absolutely correct. This should also be linked in the Discord. If you can't find it, please message one of the team leaders, and they should have it. Anyway, let's see. So in this naming convention, just to make sure, I'm going to go down to Scene Files Naming Convention. Click on that. It'll bring me to the right page. And I'm just going to go down. Reading these sections will be important. But for each one of these files, what we want is this example right here. So this example is set for Scene 5. First and only shot, that'll be the A right here. Because we're working with multiple people on this test scene, each group will be given a letter designation to put here, what version it is, and then the animation team and the character's name, or the character's ID. In production, you can read a little bit more about it here, but some of these things will be designated by the design team. So the scene, the shot name, or first or only shot, there's some funky stuff that we have to do if we want an extremely long shot. We want a lot of people to be working on it. And I mean, working on it and have a lot of flexibility is what I'm trying to say. Version 32, that's going to be just saving out different versions, anim, and then character, whatever. I can't speak. So for this, what we're going to name it, would be, let's go with a male character first, as the first one. 000, so that's test scene, _A, so this is the first shot. Your scene, each one of your groups, once again, for this practice, will be given a different letter designation. And then I'm just going to put 000, because that's fine. Then _ anim _ male. Or whatever it might be. We're going to be a little bit loose with our naming convention right now, just because it's a test scene. And you'll be saving this within seg, core, assembly, scenes, test scene, animation, create a folder here, and save it inside of there. But I'm just going to save it to the desktop for now, because I'm keeping. So anyway, I saved it. This is the male one. I'm going to delete the female. And I'm going to remove the linked thing as well, and probably remove that collection just for good measure. So now, this scene is just the male character being animated. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to open Recent. I'm going to open the one that I saved with both of the characters together. I'm going to File, Save As, and I'm going to save as pretty much the same thing as before, except instead of male character asset, it's going to be female character asset, or test character, or whatever. And I'm going to save this as that, and I'm going to delete the male character, and remove everything there. So now we only have the female character here. So, I mean, it's kind of a crappy animation, forgive me for that. So here's where the interesting part comes in. In order to see the other character, like we had talked about within the other scene, it's interesting, I must not have saved it. I apologize. So in order to get each character to be visible to each other, we need to go to File, Link, and we're going to link the collection that was male character within that file. So 000 _A, male character test asset. Link collection, male character, link. And now suddenly we have our male character, fully animated and all that sort of stuff. And so now you'll notice that you can't edit it, and I'm going to ask that you prevent yourself from being able to edit it if you're working on the female character, because any changes made to this need to come from the other Blender file. So what this allows us to do is it allows one person to be working on one character, and in the other file, the other person, the other animator, to be working on the male character. There's a little bit more that we can do later on, but once again, please don't create a proxy for the LinkedIn character that has animation. But I think you've pretty much got an idea of what you need to do. And of course, you'll be doing the inverse for the male characters thing. Anyway, to make sure everything is visible to each other. Let me open up another instance of Blender and open up the male character. It's going to be another second. I apologize. I'll go to File, Open, go down, and I'm just going to, of course, this would be within the folder structure and everything else. And I'm going to open up male character test asset. And here we go. We've got our male character. Female character is in here, but that's because we need to link the female character in. Navigate once again over to the female character. Link collection, link female character. And because we're linking by collection and not the entire scene, a loop will not happen. As long as you do not put this female character within the male character group and save, you won't destroy everything. Just please don't do that. It'll just mess everything up. I've never tried it, but creating a loop within dependencies is never a good thing, and it may prevent you from doing it in the first place, but I'm not going to try. Anyway, so I'm just going to save this, and now you can see different characters being animated to each other. Any changes you make on one, after you save and after you reopen the other file, will be propagated across them. To show you this happening, I'm going to take the female character here in the scene where I can animate the female character, go into pose mode, and I'm just going to insert a keyframe where her hips are moved back or something like this. So find animation and it's moved back. Now if I open up this file and I play it, or if I look back at this file and play it, this was open at the same time as the other one, you can see the changes are not happening. In order to refresh this file needs to be saved, so you can see I saved it down there. And this file, I need to save it and go to File, Open, Recent, and open this scene once again. And once that happens, all changes made on the other file will be shown within this one. It's just to refresh things, you need to reopen the scene file. Just as a quick shortcut to quickly reopen a file, if you press Ctrl-Shift-O, you can open recent. And you can see here you have a list of open recent. You just click the most recent one because it's the one you're currently in, usually. And clicking that, you'll reopen it. There you go. I've reopened it. I think that's about it. When we get in a little bit further into production, as in we actually have environments for characters to move around in, and the blockout animation is created by the layout team, at that time we'll go over this again and I'll show you what exactly to link from what files so that we have everything prim and proper, so that you can be animating a character within one of Layout's beautiful files. Just to show you one of those. Well, it's, I'm sorry, I must have opened it within 2.83. Here we go. This is one of the examples of one of those files. And this is the blockout animation that the layout team will be doing. So you'll be loading the collection of the blockout environments, and then you'll be loading the collection of the blockout characters. And once you have the collection of these blockout characters, then you can turn on and off them and use them as reference at will. And of course, you'll be referencing in everybody else that's working on the same scene. So, I mean, it's a little bit more complex, but basically, whenever you need something, you're going to look for it and you're going to get it. And that's pretty much all. Anyway, I think that about exhaustively goes over everything I wanted to talk about. If you haven't already talked to Radha, during this next week, she was asking everybody to pair up in groups and have 2 people per group animating multiple characters together. It doesn't have to be just 2 people, but if there's going to be a third person, a third character, we're going to need to create another test asset character file because we're using proxies. And the thing about proxies is that we can't have multiple of the same character when we're using proxies. It's kind of annoying, but yeah. Anyway, please talk to her about that, and thank you.